Do not take the low-hanging fruit of making fun of a sequel to an 80s movie. Enjoy yourself. This is a fun movie. I must start with giving context to how I watched this. IMAX, close, with a bunch of geezers clapping like apes every 5 minutes. And that's perfectly okay. What can I say about the technicals here? The sound design alone warrants the sequel existing. When you're in that IMAX theater, you can notice your heart racing. For the films I've seen so far this year, it would definitely be deserving of every technical Oscar. It would be offensive to this movie to just call it a vroom vroom editing movie. What I mean by this is like Ford versus Ferrari winning editing, bunch of fast cuts where they just quickly show you a bunch of, well, vroom vroom car stuff. This editing felt more conscious and self-aware and calculated. One thing I enjoyed from this movie was the changing aspect ratios. They go full screen for most action sequences and switch to 2:39:1 for the dialogue and dramatic scenes. The full screen was super effective at getting the viewer into a different mindset. Most of the film are imaginary scenarios hyping up the big mission for the big third act. The scenes that built us to this ginormous act were engaging, fun, and full of character building. Not saying the writing here was something that was boundary breaking, but it was effective. Look, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. The dialogue is cheesy 80s shit a lot of the time, and I can't help but just smile and laugh. But this laugh is with the movie. I'm having a good time. It would be low-hanging fruit to attack when cheesy lines like, "It's not the plane, it's the pilot," are spoken. Those cheesy lines were still able to spark emotions, especially along with its reincorporation later in the movie. I really did enjoy the casting of Goose's son being Miles Teller. This feels like a needed resurgence for him because I haven't seen him in a good movie since, well, Whiplash in 2014. This was a powerful performance from the dude and helps the climax of the third act pack that punch that's needed. John Hamm was an important addition to the cast. He's been on a bit of a comedy run that made me forget how scary he can be when he's a dominant force on the screen. I mean, even when Tom Cruise is in the shot, the performances all around during the flight scenes were just fantastic. It's a lot of facial acting when they're going against like 10 G's of force. One of my favorite decisions would have to be the music choice. They dug their heels into this being a sequel to, well, a film from the 80s. They really had the balls to start out the movie with Danger Zone. Good for them. The structure of this movie was standard and simple, but I was yet impressed on the direction the third act went. You feel like the film was about to come to an end, and then a brand new conflict that needs a dope-ass resolution arrives, and it's just so engaging and fun. My problem here would be with how the movie toys with your emotions here. We have a bunch of fake-out deaths, and it gets kind of repetitive. Look, I know they are not going to kill certain characters here, but they don't have to play on your heartstrings like this, where we have like 3 Deus Ex Machinas. I will stand by this statement, which I got some flack for. This movie is borderline just Marvel for dads when it comes to certain scenes. We have still shots of something from the old movie that demands applause. I'm not saying this is going to age poorly or anything. This is still a pretty honest and truthful sequel. At the end of the day, it was exhilarating, fun, funny, tugs on your heartstrings a bit. It gives fans a bit of nostalgia in a non-offensive way. To me, big blockbuster fun pieces can really only max out at like a 7 out of 10, unless it goes some super ambitious route. While it did in the technical categories, the flaws I had would make this land around a 7 out of 10. I'm sorry, this isn't like Blade Runner 2049 levels of a better sequel. Saying this, it may be the most fun I've had in a theater this year besides maybe the new Jackass. Probably got a Crimes of the Future video coming out next week, then the Lars von Trier ranking in probably 2 to 4 weeks. Bye-bye.